Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss whether or not Buffalo Trace Bourbon is really allocated. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Luke Cotero, Darren McElroy, and Tim Swyatt.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, we're going to have some fun today. We're going to be talking about Buffalo Trace. We know it's allocated because they tell us it's allocated, but is it really? Really? You see how the voice is going up there? That means that we're asking a question. So we'll get to that after the break, though. For right now, Darren said there's something he wanted to talk about. What is that, Darren?
So I was at a bachelor party this weekend, and It was a fun time. But one thing that popped into my mind, I was sitting out by a creek. I was like, what is the best place I've ever had a glass of whiskey? So I would like to know where everyone, it can be because of the people that were there.
I like this.
But
this
more the atmosphere rather than the glass or anything special like that.
Okay. I will tell you this. The best glass of whiskey that I ever had, only because this individual means so much to me. I was filming one of our movies. It was called Blending is Trending, and I was in Booker No's office. And I've seen the ads with Booker No. I've seen videos with Booker No, and he would be sitting in that office drinking Bookers, and he would grab the glasses that were just sitting on the desk. He'd be turning upside down. He'd pull one right side up, pour whiskey in there. And Freddie has whiskey for us when we go there, Freddie No. And he says, you guys want to pour? And of course we do. And he picks up those glasses, turns them. Now, maybe they've turned over, but that's the exact same goblet style glass Booker was drinking out of. And unless they've broken, I don't know why you would replace them. I'm thinking I'm damn drinking the same whiskey in the same place where I saw Booker No drinking this whiskey, and I'm drinking it here, right now. And I don't know. To me, and I do a lot of cool things. I'm lucky enough to be able to do so much amazing things, but Booker No was my hero. I mean, I can't imagine doing anything cooler than that, but maybe something will happen one day, but that was pretty awesome. That was pretty
cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. What about anybody else have an epic moment or something they want to share?
I'm kind of torn between two, and I don't want to bend your rules, Darren, but I just may have to. One of my favorite places is at Bourbon's Bistro, and with our good friend Jason Bronner, and he poured me a 1956 Old Fitzgerald, and it was delicious, and it was memorable. To this day, I still have that flavor in my mouth.
Right.
But the other one that's equally as, to me, would be having a pour with Al Young at Four Roses before we left the building. He said, you guys want to have a little pour? And we did, and it was memorable. And then unfortunately he passed away like a year later. So, yeah.
Tim, how about you, man?
So I'm struggling between family and bourbon celebrities. So I'm going to go with bourbon celebrities because I think that's where the common theme, I think, where you're at is the best whiskey. So while I didn't know it at the time, my first trip to Kentucky in 2007 started at Buffalo Trace and had a tour by Freddie Johnson with my brother and I, because nobody was going there yet. And then our next tour was done by Al Young at Four Roses. Yeah. And then it's like, and then we went to Woodford Reserve, and then we finished up at Wild Turkey right as the old gift shop was closing down, and Jimmy and Eddie are in the rocking chairs with their slice of bourbon cake and Wild Turkey. And we finished off the day there. We knew that one was big. We didn't know, we knew Freddie had a hint of Freddie and everything like that, but still just brand new to the whole thing. So out of that one, that's one. I'm breaking your rules again, Darren. That those are 3 solid pours of whiskey with my brother, and in things we didn't know that were as special as they were. We knew they were unique, but didn't know yet. But now I look back on it, that was the real start outside of just dabbling on my own. That turned the corner for me and said, I love this lifestyle. I love these people, this community, and everything, and I need to know more about it.
Yeah. Beka, how about you?
I'm going to stick with Darren's rules where he just said, where's the best place that we've had whiskey at? Okay. And I'm going to go with best place and time currently anyways. So at least something that I just love to do is Royce will be asleep and I will go out on our front deck in the middle of the summertime when it's starting to cool off, but it's still warm out. I just hear all the little bugs chirping and, fluttering around, and I'm watching all the little the lightning bugs flash out in the field, and just sitting there, and it's a clear sky outside, and I just have this really nice glass of whatever bourbon is in my hand. It doesn't even matter when I'm out there. It's just the most relaxing, best glass of whiskey you can have when you're it's just quiet out there and just perfect.
Okay.
So that's my answer.
That's your answer.
And interrupted by Royce farting while he's napping.
No, I've got the door closed, so I have to hear him.
Oh, good. I want to clarify, make sure that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm good to go.
All right. Darren, you asked the question.
Okay. So I am also going to bend the rules because, everyone else is doing it, so might as well do it. With a person, I started realizing this is cool. It's either at the ABV Barrel Shop but it's probably, I met Dimitri Kane and went on a barrel pick. It was my first barrel pick, but watching him drink the whiskey and then watching him watch all of our faces as good as it was. And that was really cool.
It is interesting when you start hanging out with distillers and you see that they are gauging your reaction as you drink things. It's important to them, which it should be. I mean, they've made this. They've turned other things, grains and yeast and water, and turned it into something that they're pretty proud of. But I would think that's an uneasy gig for them. I don't know. I've never been a distiller myself, but I would think it's unnerving. You're sitting across people who you never know what they're going to say.
Something I worked that hard on.
Yeah, you're hoping that.
I don't like that.
Right.
I mean, every single day in the distillery that we're doing tastings, it's like
right. It's intense.
Do they like it?
Right.
This doesn't taste like Buffalo Trace.
Oh, that is the most
like
annoying.
Blanton's.
I've had someone be like, "This doesn't taste like bourbon at all." I'm like, "Well, that's funny because it is fucking bourbon." So apparently it does taste like bourbon. It just doesn't taste like your fucking Woodford Reserve double oak that you buy every single time. I don't think
it counts as bourbon, Beka, because it's not made in Bourbon County, Kentucky. Isn't that one of the rules?
Oh yeah, there's
the rules people come up with.
I'm pretty sure it's made in Bourbon County.
Right.
I didn't think you could make bourbon in Indiana. We're not in Indiana. It's across over there. You gotta go across the river. We're not in fucking Indiana. You idiot. Oh, I'm pretty sure we're in Indiana. I'm pretty sure I know where we're at.
I'm pretty sure.
I am very positive that I know we're in Kentucky right now.
Do you not see the Kentucky Motor Speedway sign right outside?
I've had people argue this with me at the distillery.
Well,
I think we're in Indiana.
I've been in the Cincinnati airport. It's in Kentucky, so weird shit happens.
Yeah,
weird shit happens.
I get it, but guess what? We're not in fucking Indiana. I'm not sure this is bourbon. It actually has to be 4 years old. It doesn't. So it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, I know the rules. Do you?
Yeah. Do you know the rules? Yeah.
So what kind of barrel was this in? Brand new charred oak. I'm pretty positive it has to be a used barrel. What?
Get a new hobby.
Yeah.
What?
Was this made with limestone water? Because if not, then it's not bourbon.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Sorry that this went off of something else, but it just, goddamn motherfuckers.
That's just how it happens.
You get triggered. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
wind her up and let her go. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? We're going to start with Beka. She won the last one. Let's see how she does on this one.
And apparently I need a drink.
Yeah.
I have got some Hardin's Creek.
Okay.
This is from you, Steve.
Oh,
This
nice.
one is legitimately from you for sure. I know that this particular bottle is absolutely
100%. I got you that. Yeah.
100%.
Yes. Okay.
For how much effort I had to pull that open. It,
A lot of moving around. It sounds like it's rolling around on the upper floor of an office building there, but okay. Okay.
Nothing.
You're good. All right. Tim, what do you got?
I'm gonna roll with some Pop Casey 9-grain moonshine.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Well, I
Did you at
heard
least get the
something.
slosh?
I heard
a normal
something.
a normal Tim Swyatt cork pop there.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got performance issues.
Beka has the lead right now. What do you got,
Really?
Darren?
Wow.
Beka's got the lead.
I have 291 barrel pick from the ABV Barrel Shop.
Okay.
I'm going to talk this time.
No, nothing. You might as well have talked. Yeah.
Could have talked.
No.
Would have been fine.
Yeah. I got Neely here. Autumn vanilla. So
Ooh.
classic. A classic. All right, here we go. Oh, that was cute.
It was cute.
It was cute enough to take the lead
Yeah,
right
cute
now.
enough to be winning right now.
Cute enough to take the lead. So where we go. Luke, you're last but not least. This sounds like it's yours to be won. What do you got there, man?
I've got Pure Kentucky.
Okay.
Nope.
No, not enough.
Steve's
Not enough.
cute little cork pop.
I won with my cute
It
cork
worked.
pop. So cheers, gang.
Salud.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about Buffalo Trace, just their standard offering, and is that truly allocated? We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
This is Mudcat Mike from MB Rollin Distillery. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about Buffalo Trace, and is it allocated?
Yes. Allocated? Yes, we have to do it like that. We have to do it like that because we're questioning it. I mean, here's what we know. We do know that they say it's allocated. We do know that certainly distributors act like it's allocated. But for instance, in St. Louis, you can't find it at liquor stores, which would indicate that it's allocated. But then you go to the grocery store and you can buy as much as you want. Say you want to buy 20 bottles. There's no limit. Buy 20 bottles.
Go buy a whole herd if you want to.
Yeah, it's all there. So that's of course kind of makes me scratch my head. Then I just saw someone post at Costco, which of course is a cult, so maybe that gets them some things. But someone posted a store with a pallet of this stuff. That pallet was 100% full. They had it opened up and it was like $21.99. Again,
correct.
Doesn't sound like it's allocated when it's $22 for a bottle. And second, there was 100 cases on there. I mean, there was a shitload of that stuff. It was as far as the eye could see. Doesn't really sound allocated to me. You're not getting a case of George T. Stagg. A pallet of it. You're not getting a case, much less a pallet of it. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it truly allocated?
Where was that pallet of Special Reserve at?
Of just Buffalo Trace. I mean, it was not Weller. I can't remember. It was at Costco, the store, Costco. Yeah. I don't know which one.
Here's my take, and I'm coming from the distributor side. So
you are a distributor, so yes.
Yeah, and let me disclose that. I know from some of the distilleries, they tell us and they send out to us the first of every year, this is what your allocation for the year is.
Okay.
Then from there, we look at our market and said, okay, this is where we're going with this.
Right.
And some obviously more because they're our bigger customers. But we don't, all our guys are small potatoes, so they don't have the mass production that Buffalo Trace does.
Right.
So that one expression, the BT expression, in my opinion, I'm not quite sure that is allocated.
Right.
I think that out there like
I don't know how it can be either.
Don't they make a shit ton of it?
They do.
I would think so. Well, look at the capacity they got. You can't tell me it's all being drank.
Right.
And off the shelves. There's no way.
Right. Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that.
I don't see people with just like tons of Buffalo Trace, like when they're showing off their like little liquor collection, like shelves and stuff. They're like, look at what I have. They don't have like 3 like lines with like 5 deep of Buffalo Trace just sitting there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. People aren't hoarding it, so
because it's Buffalo Trace.
They make a lot of it.
With it.
Yeah. They make a lot of it, and it's
you literally just mix cocktails with that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no point in collecting it.
Some
just
people tell me that they'll see it for like $45 and they'll put limit 1 because it's allocated. And like $45 for regular Buffalo Trace?
Yes.
No, I would never pay that.
No.
Like I said, at that Costco it was $21.99.
As it should be. That's the price of Buffalo Trace. That is the appropriate price.
That's an everyday drinker price. That's what it should be.
Because that's what it should be.
And by the way, for $21.99, that's fantastic bourbon. It's when it's
hard to beat. Yeah,
it's supposed to be. It's great. If someone's paying $40 for that, forget it. I don't want to drink it.
No, because that's stupid.
Yeah.
I went to 7 liquor stores while I was driving down to this bachelor party yesterday, and I was doing research for this show, and Buffalo Trace, and 4 of them. Well, there were technically 5, but the 5th one had 1 bottle for like $60. I'm like, that $60, but yeah, just at normal liquor stores, I found it at over half. So,
yeah, okay.
Is it really that allocated, or
right?
I'm saying it's allocated so people come in and buy a whole bunch of it when they see it.
Right.
Well, they have that one on the shelf at $60, and they've got 20 cases in the back to replace that one they sell at $60 as they go. Yeah. I do think there is absolutely they can control it because everybody wants it, and and you know what? Kudos to the liquor stores because they're trying to make a living, do what they can do, take advantage of opportunities that they have. But there's definitely a gamesmanship going on behind the scenes with that. Right. With the liquor store, especially the small ones, might as well if it brings you in. But then you have like an Albertsons, or you go to Target, or any of the Albertsons, or I guess what was the other grocery store? I think they're all the same one now. It's amazing, Ralph's. Steve. You hit it right. Yeah. They're lined up on the shelf, 2 cases deep, and nobody even goes to look there. It amazes me that, and like Knob Creek, and there's a ton of stuff that age stuff, you're like, okay, retail. Why does nobody know to do this? And I don't get it.
Yeah, not all states have grocery stores, but if you have a state where they sell it at the grocery store, check your grocery store for something that's common like that. I mean, I'm not saying that's a great place to go find birthday bourbon or something, but sometimes it is too. They often because they don't know what to
always
do.
Look.
Like
you should always look. Oh, can I just say this to Buffalo Trace? This is to Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
Aren't enough of your fucking products allocated as it is?
Yeah.
Can we just have one product that's not Fireball, that's actually good to drink, that's not allocated? Can we just do that, please, for the love of God?
Because the rumor is that, and again, I've never witnessed this or had to deal with it because I don't really drink this product line, but Benchmark is allocated. Why would Benchmark be allocated?
I would, yeah.
86
It's on the bottom shelf. Who's allocating some on the bottom shelf?
They haven't gotten the labels reprinted enough to all the early time stock they bought. Put it in there, right? I'm making light of that one. But if you look at the press recently with all the different scams going on with the liquor control states, look what happened in Oregon and everything. There's a lot of shenanigans outside of the distributor when it finally goes behind the scenes that people are pulling stuff and how much I would love to see the corporate line if Buffalo Trace is actually allocated. If they do come out and say that is an allocated expression, or is it just us all making it up because there's a whole market after that? Once it gets to the liquor store, and the liquor stores are doing it themselves, creating exclusivity. Well, this was made at Buffalo Trace Distillery. These are all these products. We're just going to say it's allocated. Now it gets out on the web and everything. Because I'll tell you, if you look at all these various Facebook groups and posts on Instagram, there's tons of George T. Stagg by the case with some of these people. I do not endorse you going to them and buying that stuff because you're not going to get it.
Oh my God! Yeah,
it's amazing to me, isn't it?
Don't fall for those scams. That's a whole show where you just go on Google and do bourbon, and then you see cases of Blanton's Gold and stuff like that. You're not going to get any of that. There's 0%. It's always like a great price and stuff too. Anybody who falls for that's terrible.
It's awful, and that's what it creates.
Right.
When I do some of these whiskey events, I have some people that bring in. Yeah. I do some of these whiskey events, these bottle shares. People bring in a bottle of Buffalo Trace, and it's like they're Indiana Jones getting the idol at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah,
trying to. We got to get. It's something else. It really is. They're like, oh my God, I haven't seen this, and then they blow their mind when they realize that all those expressions are two recipes.
Oh,
and they're like, no, it's not.
Funniest fucking.
Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? People think every one of those is a different recipe and unique and stuff like that. And I'm like, nope. And people ask me, one of my favorites too is wild turkey. They're like, how many different recipes? They have one, and then they do their rye. Their rye is a separate one, but other than that, it's one recipe for wild turkey.
Correct.
Yeah, but it's a damn good recipe. So
my favorite
recipe.
My favorite in the distillery is people come in and when people come in, we have our different mash bills up here. We have a high rye, we got our wheat, we got a 4-grain, we have a rye whiskey. And people go, I don't like rye. And I'm like, so we also have the rye bourbon, we got the wheat, we have the and they go, no, like I don't like rye. And I'm like, well, you probably do.
Right.
They're like, no, I've just never been a rye person. And I'm like, okay, so this is a list of all the bourbons that have rye in them, and it's a majority of the ones you drink.
Right. That happens all the time. And my favorite was the guy who was highly allergic to rye.
Their
and
brains?
he couldn't pick a rye. Yeah, but all of them were high rye bourbon. So
if you look at the fucking list, I actually sent our guys that work in the distillery over the list of mash bills for all the different bourbons. I said, here's just something you can look at, and you can, see just some of the ones that are very popular, so that you can tell people that this is actually that's a high rye bourbon.
Yeah, some of those are almost high rye enough that they're barely over some of those Kentucky ryes that are like 51% rye. I mean, some of those high rye bourbons are damn near that in them. So that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, Buffalo Trace.
We don't think it's allocated. We think it's a cult.
No.
It's
a
fake.
It is fake.
Marketing scam.
And also, you don't need to buy Buffalo Trace for $40. If you see it for $40, just don't fucking buy it. Just find literally anything else.
Yeah.
Buy vodka.
What's going to happen?
Probably be better.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when we all stop buying it?
Yeah.
What's going to happen when we all stop buying it at 40? Price is going to go down to 35.
Right.
Then we say, no, we're not going to buy it at 35 either. We all say no, and they're going to go down to 30. And then it'll come back to MSRP where it should be at, with a little margin there for the folks to get back a little right size into some things here.
Exactly. Yeah.
That would be hopeful.
That would be. That would be. That's how it should work, but we'll see what happens. All right. On that note, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. We're going to start with you, Darren. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at The Bourbon Adventure, and then on Facebook at Darren McRoy.
Tim.
You can find me on Instagram at SwyGuy2112.
All right. Luke.
You can find us on Instagram at Santa Fe Boutique Wines and Spirits, and you can find me on LinkedIn.
Beka.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. We put all of our previous shows out there. We've got our blogs, Bourbon Zeppelin, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us. We're live at the ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. We'd love to see you there. And, of course, you can vote for us, too. Let's not forget that. We are in the running for Best Liquor Store in St. Louis. That voting is going on right now. I have the link to it in the description of this page, so this show. So please vote for us, and you can vote every day. So vote once a day and help us get Best Liquor Store in St. Louis. Beka, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Hey, everyone.
Later.
Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with the national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.